Good morning, B. How is it going? How is it
Good
going in your
morning.
world?
Going great. How you doing today, sweetie?
I'm doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
Good,
So
good.
I am getting us set up on good to know that we're going to be back on Instagram this morning.
I
So,
think so. I think so.
okay, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Good morning,
Try to do
beautiful
it.
people. Okay, Brandon, you should get something here shortly. Good morning, beautiful people, on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I'm glad to be in this side or on this side, right, of the world today. How about
Right.
that?
Exactly.
So, all right,
Good to
looks
see ya.
like we're good there. Um, Brandon, periodically doing this podcast, this episode, let's remind the people that when they don't see you there, to please go on YouTube, or they could always go on Facebook as well. So, are you
Sounds
able
good.
to upload the videos afterwards?
Um, I can if I save them. So it gives me an option to save them after the video is done, and then I can upload them, or I can go back to the YouTube and get them from there.
Or stream?
Um,
Remember StreamYard? They're all
right,
uploaded
right,
on
right.
stream.
Or StreamYard. Or
Okay.
StreamYard.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But
So let's see who's in with us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, go ahead. I was actually gonna I'm gonna grab this book right here before we get started. But you go ahead, see who we got.
Okay. I'm just going to
Okay.
say good morning. You go ahead and do your thing. Good
All right.
morning to my brother Mike, who's in with us. Miss Brenda, check in with us because we didn't hear from you yesterday. So just, you've become like a regular to the barbecue. So it's like a neighbor who, I hadn't seen him come out, in a few days. So we're just checking on you. Let us know that you're out there and okay. Even if you just send me a message um, if you're not on with us today. So just let us know that you're okay and that you're still rocking with us. So good morning to my brother again. You guys, welcome to Daily Motivations for African American Success. There she is. She's home and she's okay. Reminds me of the time when my neighbor came over and was like, "Are you in there? I haven't seen you come in or go out in quite a while." So you all know how that is. So thank you, Miss Brenda. Glad you're okay. Daily Motivations for African American Success. We do it daily, Brandon and I, my son. So we're just welcoming you, you all who may be new, because some people have shared this video, right? You guys have shared it. So I know someone is on new today watching us. So I want to say thank you and welcome to the barbecue. First time coming, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to bring anything. How about that? But you do have to leave and go order the book, right? You do have to have the book front and center. So Brandon, I'm assuming, is getting his book, and I may just go ahead and rock on with it. Um, Let me see here. Let me put our. You do good there, Brandon?
All good. All good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. So I'll let you go ahead and do your thing as I get the information out there as to what we're looking at today.
It looks good. Looks like we are live on Instagram, so it's working back again. They let me come back. Welcome
Yay!
everybody. Yeah, yeah.
Yay!
So you already shout out everybody in the
Yes,
comment section.
we're good. Miss Brenda is back in and in with us. I told her she has
Awesome.
to check in because I feel like she's a neighbor across the street who I hadn't seen, come in or out for a while. So
Yeah,
she's
was
got to
was she
check.
there yesterday?
No, well, I don't think I
That's what I
didn't. We
thought.
didn't hear from. No, I don't think so because she would have said something. Remember, I think we said
That's
say
right.
hello yesterday.
That's right.
So,
Well,
all right,
thank y'all
let's go.
again for coming in this 104th day of the End the Season podcast, where we go through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Now, this powerful book will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. If you haven't been here, in 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, who's also the author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Edelman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan,
Mm.
and hundreds of others. So there's a quote at the beginning of every single passage from one of these individuals. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. So we're running through this book every single day. We read a new passage for whatever day it is. So today is May 14th, and we will read May 14th passage. Today's quote from a distinguished African American, and then an affirmation that we read 3 times. But for the people that's been rocking with us, y'all know all about that. Um, but what I do need you to do is make sure that you invite others to this show every morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get notifications every time we do go live and stream this show. And make sure that you're speaking to people about it and showing the growth. And when they ask you what's going on with you, what's that affirmation that you wrote down or that you said earlier today, or you know, what's this what's this motivational that this motivation that you're bringing, this new energy that you're bringing, please let them know. Not that we're taking all credit, because we're not, but just let them know the things that this is one of the tools in your belt that you use every single day to stay motivated and to stay focused on your goals, you know, when you're heading for success. So without further ado, Mom, you got anything before I jump into it?
Um,
What you got? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I don't know, Brandon. You guys, I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to be encouraged. I want to be a witness to that. If you keep going, and I know it gets so hard. It feels so hard sometimes. It feels like it can feel like that the world is on your shoulders, right? But let me tell you that no matter how it feels or what you think is on your shoulders, God is carrying you every step of the way. You may feel like you're walking or running, sprinting, like you're hustling, but know that you know that you know that you know that God is carrying you. And if you get out of your own way, if you just step aside, right? If you just fall into his arms, right? I remember a lady, maybe this was a story, and a lady shared it with me, that things got to the point that it felt so bad that she imagined God sitting in a rocking chair and her just sitting beside him, like on a floor. Remember, like that grandma thing or your mama thing. Brandon, I think you did this with me. You just you want to just rest your head in your mom's or your dad's lap. Imagine that. And do that with God. She said it felt so difficult that she just imagined being this little person, this little girl that just laid her head in God's lap as he brushed her hair, right? That's the God we serve. That's the God we serve. That's who you are a servant to and of and for. And if you look at your life as an assignment for God and you get out of his way, man, I'm telling y'all, you will grow through it. Your perception of it will be different. You will be led by the Holy Spirit. You will feel the Holy Spirit. You will hear his voice. You will hear his voice, and you will rejoice. And I just want to encourage you guys, no matter what you're going through, be intentional that I'm not going through it. I'm growing through it, and I'm going to it. You know, in the meeting yesterday, man, y'all, the CEO at the very last, he blessed me so, and it's so awesome to hear someone speak who's over everything and everybody, right? Who you know that he's on the journey, that he's on the journey. That's a beautiful thing. And he said, we have somewhere to go, and we're going. We got the people to go there with. That was powerful. I took so many notes from him. It was awesome. We have somewhere to go, and we're going there, and we have the people to go with us. So fresh encouragement every day. This is what this is. I'm so thankful to see my brother out there every morning, Miss Brenda. I'm just thankful, and I just can't wait to hear what's happening um, for you, right? What's happening for you. All right, Miss Brenda, that job. ending, it's happening for you. You hear that, my brother? The business you're starting, know that nothing, the things you grew through, brought you right where you are, and you can get there from right there. All right. So, Brandon, over to you.
Thank you for that powerful encouragement, Mom. Appreciate that. I needed to hear it, and I'm sure somebody else did too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, today is May 14th. So we have a new passage to read. We have a new daily motivational. And today's title is Who is Your Scapegoat? Who is your scapegoat? And our quote from the distinguished African American comes from none other than Thurgood Marshall, the Supreme Court Justice, who said, "Each of us must earn our own existence. And how does anyone earn anything? Through perseverance, hard work, and desire." Each of us must earn our own existence. And how does anyone earn anything? Through perseverance, hard work, and desire. So the passage goes as follows. The Old Testament book of Leviticus describes the sacred custom of using a scapegoat once a year to atone for the sins, mistakes, and failures of the Israelite nation. In a solemn ceremony, Aaron, the high priest, would lead a goat to the outskirts of the camp. There, he would place his hands on the goat's head and confess over it all the sins of the Israelite people. Through this symbolic act, the goat took on the sins. It was then allowed to escape and wander in the wilderness, presumably to die. The term scapegoat is still with us today, but it is not used in reference to a sacred ceremony. Now, people use it to describe what or who they choose to blame for their problems and mistakes. Some people make scapegoats of their parents. Others blame their woes on the government, the economy, their school, their company, or their boss. Instead of working on what's going on inside them, they try to blame what is going on around them. It's always easier and more convenient to assume that the answer or the blame lies elsewhere. But life is a do-it-yourself proposition. We increase our ability and stability, says rhythm and blues great Curtis Mayfield, when we increase our sense of accountability and responsibility. I'll say that again. We increase our ability and stability when we increase our sense of accountability and responsibility. You must accept personal responsibility for the quality of your performance. You are responsible for your reaction to the circumstances in your life. And the affirmation that we read 3 times, one for me, one for you, and one for the person that you're going to send this to, is I am responsible for me. I point no fingers, give no excuses, and offer no scapegoats. Second time, I am responsible for me. I point no fingers, give no excuses, and offer no scapegoats. And last time, I'm responsible for me. I point no fingers, I give no excuses, and I offer no scapegoats. And that's the passage of the day. What you think about that one, Mama? A little biblical reference
Help me
right there.
with it, Brandon. Truth be told, I'm gonna wait till you put your coffee down. It ain't them, it's you. Right? See that finger?
Yeah.
It ain't it. It's not what's happened to you. It's not what you're growing through. It's not like the passage said, it's not your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your sister. It's not what's happening at your job. It's you. And when you turn that mirror inward, when you take the abilities, right? When you respond and accept the abilities, what did it tell us? Life is a do it yourself, DIY, right? DIY proposition. Now, what do you do with it? And when it says, when we increase our ability, that's that ability, and stability, says Rhythm and Blues great Curtis Mayfield. When we increase our sense of accountability and responsibility, right?
Mhm.
When you do that, there are no scapegoats. So it's a great question to internalize. And sometimes it may not be somebody else that's your scapegoat. You may be your scapegoat, right? So you
Hmm.
just like defining success, um, what that means to you, right? What's your goals? What your plans? What's your hustle? Are you hustling me or are you hustling you, right? Pimping wearing you or you wearing the pimping? Which is it? Which is it? Because if you lie to them, you can't be truthful to me. If you lie to yourself, you ain't truthful to me or yourself
Anybody.
or anybody. So, truth be told, it's you. And when you do you in that mirror every day, every step of the way, you guys, I still have to talk myself. It's getting better. I still have to talk myself out of my feelings, my emotions, out of my hell, right? Out of the things that I've allowed to simmer in my life. Because again, we throw the word trauma out there, and never am I ever minimizing trauma. But sometimes, you guys, we get caught up in the issue, in the circumstance, in what happened to me. It's not even happening to me anymore. It's in my mind, it's in my head.
Mm.
And everything is a choice. No matter what, you cannot, I'm not gonna play with that one. Everything is a choice. Even if it's in the way that you think. If you think negative, you've chose to do that. How do I know? Because I've had to talk myself out of my negative, stinking thinking. If I can do it, you can do it. I had to find ways to get out of my hell. Brandon, I brought up the time where when you and Selen, I gave you guys, and on this side of it, it does seem a little crazy. It seems like, Mom, I remember the looks. I gave them towels. You remember me talking about this a couple of shows back? I gave them towels, kind of like a surrender towel, right? And I said, sometimes you're not going to have the words to say to your spouse. Sometimes you're going through something, growing through something, and you just cannot explain it, or you may not be ready. But if your spouse is in tuned into you and you them, they're going to feel that something's wrong, and in most cases, they're going to take it personal, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
bought these towels, and I said, these are your surrender towels. These are your towels that when you are going through something, here, place this on your dresser or somewhere. Y'all decide where, and that lets your mate know that, hey, it's not you. I just need a moment. I'm just going through something right now.
Right.
I remember the looks like, what? But how do I know this? Why did I think that was important? And I was just out shopping and thought, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to give them something, just there were some bright colored towels. But that again, that's just saying, I surrender, right? I'm not going to let you be my scapegoat today. I kind of want to be, I kind of want you to be, whatever, but I'm not. I don't have the words right now. That towel can say so much. Imagine you coming home and y'all have these little things. And these little things are what we need. I'm bringing this up because you need your own little things to get through your own hell, to push you through, to keep you going, to keep you from not turning around to the things that you've gotten used to, right? The negative thoughts, the negative people. Because as you grow forward, you become anew, right? So your mind, your body is expecting new things as you continue to grow. But there's some parts of you that's still holding on to the old people, to the old stuff, to the old feelings. So it is truly a death. It is a death that you are taking on, right? So then if it's a death, it becomes a battle, right? Because you're trying to fight to live, fight to keep on, while there's a part of you that's trying to take you back to what you know. Because what we know is what we know. We've been wearing as Brandon mentioned, or one of us, we've been wearing the right glove on the left hand so long. We were talking about relationships until when the right man comes on and take that right glove off that left hand and puts it back on the right hand, right? That looks, that's odd to you because you've gotten used to the wrong dudes. You've gotten used to being treated the wrong way. And now they are your scapegoat to the point when the right man, the good man, right? The man
Mm.
that God sent you, you can't even see him because you got a scapegoat. Some scapegoats, maybe. So who is your scapegoat? I love this one, Brandon. Over to you.
Thank you, Mama. Appreciate that. Yeah, I like what you said there. And I appreciate, the towels and things like that. Um, that was an interesting take on things, and I think more than anything, it just changes the perspective, and seeing and remembering that your relationships, usually you guys are on the same team, right? Remembering that with your friendships, your relationships, your family. Uh, Sometimes it's easy to forget that you're on the same team,
Mm,
and it's good to remind each other of that. Also, this reminded me of one of my favorite books, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
yes.
Um, and if you guys haven't read The Four Agreements, that's another book that I think would be great for people to go through together. I actually was thinking about getting this book for a friend of mine and some family actually. But one of the quotes from it says that whatever happens around you, don't take it personally, because nothing other people do is because of you. It's because
Mm,
of themselves. And I think what we do in many cases is we take what happens around us more take what happens within us, if that makes sense. Whatever happens around us, we take personally because that we can't control, right? And so it's easy to blame things that happen around us. But what we really need to take account of is what happens internally. Because everything that you feel, every emotion that you feel, and every condition that you're in, especially as an adult, is because of you. As a man, I'll just speak for the brothers here. Whatever condition your life is in, whatever space that your life is in, wherever you are in life, it's because of you. Yes, it's your fault. Just like it would be to your credit, it's either your credit or your fault, whether it's good or bad. It's your fault that you're so successful. It's your fault that you're not successful. And once you take that personal responsibility, and first you do that by taking account, right? You take account. Oh, okay, I see what's happened here. Even the way that I feel, if somebody says something to me and I feel a certain way about it, you know who's responsible for that feeling? I am. I am. Whether I chose to actively feel this way or I subconsciously or inactively, passively, I would say, passively chose to feel this way. Either way, I chose the feelings that I had. I either chose or I conceded to that feeling. I submitted to that feeling, right? Um, and so we should take responsibility for that. So if I feel a certain way, it informs me to make a decision. What is that decision? To either do something to, if it's a good feeling, then do something to continue that feeling, or that especially if it benefits me holistically. And then if it doesn't feel good, then there's something that is unsettled. There's something that is unresolved within that situation, right? And I do believe that the mind will play tricks on you, right? The mind will play tricks on you to convince you to stay comfortable, to convince you to stay where you are, to stay complacent, to stay with the known, right?
mm,
But it's very difficult sometimes to go into the unknown. People fear the unknown, right? And when we fear the unknown, we don't want to traverse uh, new places and spaces. We don't feel like growing because it's uncomfortable to grow, right? So in that growth, when we're stimulated to growth, or we have some type of um, stressor that makes us grow in some kind of way, sometimes we run away from that. and we say, oh, well, it's not my growth right now that needs to happen. It's somebody else's. It's not me that needs to change. It's the government. It's not me that needs to change. It's my family member, my partner, my child even. We'll say, no, my child needs to change. Like they didn't learn what they learned from us. When really most times we're just seeing ourselves inside of the children, right? And those oftentimes are the most frustrating things. Have you ever noticed that people that have very similar personalities fight the most?
Hmm. Brandon, would you agree that oftentimes we're seeing ourselves inside of all the people that we have some conflict with? Like there's
Absolutely.
something, yeah, totally agree
Absolutely.
that we're
In
seeing,
some
we're
way,
fighting
shape,
that
form,
fight.
or fashion, we see that. And I'm not saying, I don't know if I can say with every single situation. Like
Right,
there's some
right.
things that I think are diametrically opposed to one another, but um, like I don't think that I don't know, let me take some, like a Mother Teresa would see so much of herself inside of a Benjamin Netanyahu or a Hitler or something like that, right? Um, but they could see their own humanity and the destruction of that person's human dignity. They could see the destruction of that person's soul, his faith, his ability to be humane. And they can fear that for themselves, and they can fear the spread of that corruption to other minds, hearts, um, and people. Or even the way that we speak to each other or speak to ourselves. Sometimes we speak negatively to ourselves and to other people, right? And we'll use that. Like you said something very interesting to me a couple minutes ago when you were going through your analysis. You said, "Are you your own scapegoat?" And I thought about that. I was like, my first thought was, how can you be your own scapegoat? And I thought about it. I was like, well, a lot of people are self-defeatist. They say, oh, well, I can't do this because I'm this. I can't do this because I'm this. Like Allen Iverson was what, 5'10", 5'11", something like that. Maybe some people said he was 6 foot, but I don't think he was that tall. And he was great at basketball with guys that was 6'6", 6'7", 7 foot in height, and he's going under him, over him, things like that. So
Hmm.
if somebody would have, he could have easily said, I can't be an NBA star. I can't be a professional basketball player. I'm under 6 feet. And he could have stopped right there. Or some people would say, oh, well, my mom always told me I was stupid, or something like that. And they'll let that stop them. They have these self-defeating qualities and they're their own scapegoat. They're saying that there's something immaterial or something that they didn't decide themselves, that was of no control to them. Oh, I'm black, so I can't do that. Oh, I'm white, so I can't do that. Oh, I'm Mexican, so
Hmm.
whatever. You know what I mean? Something that they'd had no choice in. They use that as an impediment or as an insurmountable obstacle for whatever goal that they say that they want, but really they're just afraid to really achieve, or afraid to fail, right? They're so afraid to fail sometimes that they scapegoat things as to not fail themselves. Have you ever seen people that said, I would rather not fall in love, I would rather not be in a relationship because so many relationships are going in the dumps. I would rather not get married because everyone gets a divorce, right? What kind of what kind of way is that to live, right? What kind of way is that to, especially when people, men and women, have a need for the other, for males have a need for females and females have a need for males, right? They have a certain need. Men, and there's a difference between male and men. You can be a male and be a boy. And men have a need for women, and women have a need for men. And imagine if if we didn't take advantage of that, or we didn't fulfill that part of ourselves, ever in life, right? When that's how we were created, not only to procreate, but to have uh, uh, a helpmate, as the Bible says, right? Um, and if you deny that just based on certain experiences, even your own experiences or other people's experiences, you are scapegoating something that isn't happening to you currently. You're projecting past experiences on uh, future future situations and relationships. And so I think we do that most of the times out of fear. What's that one quote that our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are great beyond measure?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think that fear gives us the ingredients for escapism. And there's different forms of escapism. Like scapegoating is just one form of escapism, right? Some people scapegoat, some people use drugs, some people have denial, some people have a bunch of different pathologies, like mental and psychological pathologies. But we give up. We're always giving up some amount of responsibility when we scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you take that goat out to the middle of the field, you know, let's take the Israelites for this example. When you take that goat out to the middle of the field and you confess all your sins, which I don't agree with, but confess all your sins to a goat, and you let it go run. Have you changed at all? How many goats do you need until until you change? You know, until you change what's inside of you. Nothing changes unless you change what's inside of you. That goat can run and then come back. That goat might get home before you get home. You get back to your village and the goat is right there like, why you leave me, bro? You know what I mean? And so what does that mean? Like, now your sins have come back to you. So like, it doesn't make any sense to me until you take responsibility, right? You can pray all day that your garden is going to grow, but if you don't ever till that ground, nothing is going to grow, right? So that's pretty much
Hey, so
all I have.
Brandon, interesting point there because I looked at it. What's interesting, it says the term scapegoat is still with us today, but it's not used in reference to a sacred ceremony. So I feel like in the Old Testament, the ceremony in some sense was taking responsibility. They were something that they were confessing to their own wrongdoing, I guess I should say. But in the sense that we carry it now, is the reverse. It's someone else's fault. I did, it's not my fault. There's no taking the responsibility in the way that we see it today. And something else that you mentioned about some if women say, or men, I don't want to fall in love, right? And it's not that you don't want to fall in love, you don't want to be hurt again. You know, I felt the need to tell someone who I felt had been really advised incorrectly as it relates to a new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, and I wanted to say, and maybe I have to pray on it because I didn't do it at the time. Love like you've never been hurt before. Go into this thing like you've never been hurt. Now, you have to keep some wisdom with that, right? But you certainly should not act like you don't care if you really do. Because if I care for you and you act like you don't care for me, I'm out. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you playing, you're not playing me, you playing you because you're gonna miss out, right? You're gonna miss out. So
Yep.
you have to think about it. Like what, and then if you say, well, everybody gets divorced, that's crazy. No, everybody don't get divorced. So are you looking at the
Exactly.
glass half full, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or half
Mm-hmm.
empty? So it's how you look at it. And then there's so many things that go around divorces and breakups. And most of it, like we said, if talking to the woman, it's you. It's you if for nothing else, you picked him. If
Mm.
I talk to the man, it's like KL said, my ex-wife is kind of we laughed about it, but really, it's deep. He said my ex-wife got mad at me because I paid her a car note one time. I don't need you and da 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 da. Where is that coming from? And
Mm.
that did not really mean that she had to become an ex, or because he said I should have knew right then. Well, you're already married now. So what do you do
Exactly.
with that? What do you do with that now? If you married not for better or worse, but for good. And you don't do anything with that if you are not who you are supposed to be, if you are not in and owning your space, if you've not been in the mirror. Because if you've not had some days in the mirror, some nights in the mirror, some tears in the mirror, then guess what? You can't help her. Even if she get mad and you want to, you cannot because you don't have the means and the ability to go over and say, baby, I don't know where this is coming from, but I paid your car note because I care for you and I want to do things for you. I don't know what you've been through or who you've been dealing with, but we're married now. But I
Mm-hmm.
bet you, and y'all know I pick on KL a lot. I bet you KL got mad too. Like, what's wrong with her? I paid her kind of was he see, and that was about him. But when you do you, when you stood before that mirror and you no longer walk away and forget what you saw or what you felt or the tears you cried, you could see the other person in their mirror. You might not know what they see,
Mm.
but you could at least see them standing at that mirror and many times walking away just like they came up, just like they showed up.
Mm.
And then you grace over to them, especially your spouse, especially the people that you love. You grace over to them the same grace that God gave you when you were walking away from that mirror, not remembering what you saw. So when you grow, when you visit that mirror, nobody is your scapegoat. You blame nobody for the things. And you guys, it takes time to get there. Well, for some of us, because some of y'all might run this race, this transformation journey much quicker than I'm running it.
Mm.
Because I feel like it's been a lifetime and I'm still growing and learning, right? I'm a little taller in the mirror now. Have had to get a taller mirror, right? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
growing. So one day I walked to my mirror and I didn't see my face. Why? Because I had grown.
Mm-hmm.
I had grown, right? Brandon, growing
Yep.
pain,
That's what I was thinking about. I knew you were
you
about to say.
know?
Yeah.
So, y'all, it truth be told, Brandon, what is it?
It's about you.
What is it? It's you.
It's about you.
It's
I have
you.
something.
Okay.
Uh, why do we create scapegoats? Is the question, right? Like, what's the purpose of a scapegoat? And again, another quote. I'm looking up quotes from Miguel Ruiz because there's another book. I like all of his books and his son's books.
Yeah.
The Four Agreements, The Mastery of Self, The Mastery of Love,
The book of
the,
knowledge,
the,
like
the Book of Knowledge.
understanding. In the book
Yeah.
of understanding. Yeah.
There's and the Fifth Agreement as well. But from the Mastery of Love, there's one that says that a quote that says humans cover themselves and protect themselves. And when someone says, "You are pushing my buttons," it's not exactly true. What is true is that you are touching a wound in someone's mind and they're reacting because it hurts. You see that? They're
That's deep.
reacting because it hurts.
It hurts. And Brandon, that's like if you I have this picture somewhere that I put out. It was a lady, she had band-aids everywhere, a woman with band-aids everywhere. And so if my leg is broken or if I have a sore, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you kick me, it may hurt anyway, right? But if you kick the leg that I've broken that or that is sore, that is wounded, the hurt is going to be different, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be different. You know, when speaking one time, I used this. If I slap you, if I slap you with my hand, we still got an issue, right? But imagine your thought process if we're in this situation and I slap you and I just haul off and slap you with my feet. My feet come around and go boom. It's a different kind of slap, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
see, you're expecting it with the hand. We have all these this set mindset of how things should happen and what they should be. So if you're gonna slap me, I'm expecting you to slap, and I'm arguing face to face. If
Get
you're gonna
out.
hit me, I'm expecting you to hit me with your hand.
Get out.
But again, if my feet comes around, just imagine you stand up talking to somebody and they go boom with their feet. You probably gonna have to just get yourself together because they just slapped me with their feet, right? And sometimes
Yeah.
life slaps you with something that you weren't expecting and from some people that you weren't expecting it from. And then you will allow that to be the scapegoat. And as Brandon said, we cover ourselves. We don't want to hurt anymore. Some of us
Mm-hmm.
feel like I have hurt enough. So I don't want another man. I don't want another woman. Everything I do, get that, everything I do becomes undone. That's no different from saying I don't want to love. I don't want to get
Mhm.
married because people get divorced. Everybody. No, the
Exactly.
word everybody.
Right. And anytime we
And
say
no,
stuff
that's
like that,
a lie. Everybody does not get a divorce.
right? Anytime we
Yeah.
say
So
all the
that's
time,
my
every
spiel.
time,
There's so much in
never, right? Anytime we
yeah,
say those words in an
yeah.
argument, especially or in some type of discourse or discussion, if we say, well, you always or they always or I never, these kind of forever words, it's never really the case. That's how you know that someone's in distress, right? Another thing I'll take from Miguel Ruiz, he said, in order to protect our emotional wounds and because of our fear of being hurt, humans create
Mm.
something very sophisticated in the mind, a big denial system. In
Oh
that
wow.
denial system, in that denial system, we become the perfect liars. We lie so perfectly that we lie to ourselves and we even believe our own lies. We don't notice we are lying. And sometimes, even when we know we are lying, we justify the lie and excuse the lie to protect ourselves from the pain of our wounds. The denial system is like a wall of fog in front of our eyes that blinds us from seeing the truth. We wear a social mask because it's too painful to see ourselves or to let others see us as we really are. And the denial system lets us pretend that everyone believes what we want them to believe about us. We put up these barriers for protection to keep other people away, to keep other
Brandon, which
people away
one is
from our.
that? Which
That's
one? Which
the mastery of love.
okay. All right. I'm looking
Mhm.
because I see those over there.
And it's about your and it's our internal happiness. Like if you put your happiness in someone else's hands, right? That's a scapegoat already. You've positioned them to be a scapegoat because your happiness is dependent upon you, no one else. If you put your happiness in someone else's hands, eventually, people being imperfect, they're gonna break it. You know, they're gonna let you down in some way because happiness can only come from inside of you. Only can come from inside of you.
Right.
So we sometimes then there are people that do the opposite of I don't want love. There are people that jump too eagerly into into relationships or into relations with others, right? Because they're looking for those connections, but they don't want them to go deep. If that makes sense. They want
Mm.
very shallow connections because the deep connections are the ones that really hurt. So they'll kind of get out ahead of it and be like, okay, you know, we're a thing, but it never gets uh, too deep because they give their happiness. They say, I don't want the responsibility of controlling my own happiness. Ooh, here's a new person. Here, you can have it. Have my happiness for a little bit. Oh, you're not good. It's your fault. Okay, here, you have my happiness. Here, you have my happiness. Now you have a serial dater, right? Um,
Mm.
so I see different ways of sabotaging ourselves, self-sabotage. And some people do it in one extreme and some people do it in the other extreme. But um, it's all us not taking accountability for ourselves and responsibility for how we feel. So we create scapegoats, whether it be scapegoats for our sins, scapegoats for our insecurities, scapegoats for the difference between where we think we should be and where we are, the conditions of our life, our quality of life. And you can't fix any of it with scapegoats. Scapegoats is only you laying blame. But when has blaming something, someone, or anything been the cure for anything, right? That's just the judgment. And when you pass judgment on something, like it's not that it's been fixed. It's not that it's been resolved. It's just that you've categorized it in your head in a certain way, right? But the problem still persists. Like if I see a snake, a poisonous snake coming at me, I can be like, "That's a poisonous snake." And how foolish would I look like to now turn my back on that poisonous snake? Like I'm done now. I've judged it. It's a poisonous snake. No, fool, get out the way. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I think we're not dealing with the poisonous snake in our midst. You know.
Mm.
So
So, Brandon,
that's all I got.
as we come to wrap it up, you just kind of sparked some new things. especially about the part you said, like what we want people to see, what we see in us, what we want them to see, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also what we want to see in ourselves. And it reminded me that we may don't see because of all the things, right? And it reminded me of the road less traveled. There's a section in there that talks about the people of the lie,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's the lie that they're telling themselves, about the people in their life, about how they've experienced life through the things that have happened to them, and so much more. So I put out there, we are attracted to and fall in like or in love with those who care for us in familiar ways. What are you familiar with? What is your second generation familiarity, right? What's your second generation thought process about love, right? And so much more. So much more. And new people, the reason we want new things and new people, you guys, I'm gonna put this out here and then we'll end. New people in your life don't require you to turn the mirror inward, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this season, we are a member on the opposing team, but we huddle up and play on the other team. Let that simmer for a minute. You're not playing on your team. You're not team Tammy, team Brenda, team Mike, team Trent. I see Trent out there. Are you playing on your team? And the four agreements is also about walking into a room. And I will never forget how it started. Walking into a room
Mm-hmm. A
and
party.
owning it
Oh.
into the party, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we walk into a party. Who's here? Who's looking at me? You know. And so now you ought to walk in and be like, yeah, look at me. I'm in. The light has come, right? You better think highly of yourself than not. Remember that one a few days ago?
Yep.
And not give a damn who cares about
Exactly.
what you think about you. Because they don't know what they think about them. So how they're going to decide on you.
And insecurity is so cool, right?
Yes.
Like people make insecurity like it's just the thing to do. Like, boy, people hate it when you're confident, especially insecure people. Boy, if you're confident, they're like, well, who are you to think that
Yes,
you
they
can
get
achieve things?
angry. They will you can see if you just look at people, they will tell you what they are not saying
And you know what? I say to hell with them. I love seeing that face
all
because that
day,
means
every day.
I'm going in the right direction. I'd be like, to hell with you for
And you
real.
see
Like,
the light. And you
yeah,
see where I'm going. But you
yeah,
just you don't want to get married because everybody get divorced.
right.
So right. So you don't want to see the light because you think everybody turns around, or you can't. You can't get there.
Mm,
So
mm,
it's just y'all. And this is another one I'm gonna share. And we're gonna get off of here. Our compulsions to suffering may be playing themselves out in our feelings of attraction. What are you attracted to? Who are you attracted to?
and ooh, can I say we're
Oh, go ahead.
attracted to filth, mom.
Hmm?
There's something about us, right? At this point, I don't know if this is innate to all human beings, but there's something about the groupthink of human beings that love filth. They love drama. They
Hmm.
love, you know, uh, when two people are opposed to each other. They love the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. They love when the rappers beef. They love when there's contention between the two hosts on The View, the different hosts on The View, and somebody's got drama with somebody. They love the they love the angles of how people can undercut each other. You know what I mean? They love it when people are speaking bad about each other and spilling the tea, as they say, on one another. Right? People flock to that. People flock to these very like sick things. Like even horror movies, right? Why do we get so excited when we see people getting their heads chopped off, and killed on screen? You know what I mean? Even
Hmm.
if it's deemed and put
Hmm.
in some type of cinematic way, it's like you just saw somebody get killed. Like how many times do our children see someone get murdered on TV before they're 10? How many times have our children seen someone get shot on TV? right? And we're putting them in front of this. We're giving them these new triggers of addiction, of loving filth, of loving to see things that molest their minds, of hearing things that molest their hearts. You know what I mean? And then they regurgitate these things and spread that corruption of the heart and that astonishment of the heart to other people, to other children. So what is it about us that loves to revel in filth? You know what I mean? And I think we get a rise on, oh, that's so shocking. He said, what? You know, somebody could say the best thing in the world, right? They could say something so compassionate and empathetic, and we would not give that the same weight as if we heard someone say to someone else an insult. Who's got the best insult, right? What is it about us, right? Because those are our scapegoats. Those make us feel like we're better human beings. So
Yes.
we go and watch that and say, oh, okay, yeah, I ain't like that, but boy, he got him. You know, so Mike said
Also,
that they seem to love
also,
drama.
Brandon, people, if and this is going to sound really bad, you guys, but sometimes people help. The reason people show up, sometimes, not all, when things are going bad for you, and I've really had this happen in my life, where I felt like somebody was like, they just show up because it makes them feel like they are in a better position now. There's a difference between someone helping you grow through your stuff, right? Or I'm
Mm,
just here to kind of rub it in a subliminal way, right? You could tell through the words they say, if it's really genuine that they're there, right? And
mm-hmm,
so people like drama. Whatever you are, and that's why I put that up there. What are you attracted to? What attracts you? Because the more I grow, the things I like are changing. I'm going to liking the things that I used to not like. Squash. I used to hate squash. Cranberry juice. I'm tasting things expecting not to like them. Right.
mm.
So, and I'm like, so what has happened? It's not the cook. They're no different. Right. Seriously. So people like drama because they have internalized drama.
Mm,
People
mm.
want you to go through something so they can show up and be a people of
Be
the
this.
lie about their own stuff. You're their scapegoat. Like my friend said, he was my medicine for as long as I was sick. And she liked the medicine. She kept getting a refill, right? She kept going back until she healed. And then the look, he didn't even look the same. He wasn't even the same person in her eyes. Why? Because she changed. And as you change, man, internally, everything changes. The sight, your hearing, the way you feel, the way you love,
Mm,
the way you show people grace, right?
mm,
Everything changes. Your heart opens up in a different way. And then inside of that, you also learn how to guard your heart. You also know how to just pass on by the people that you know like the drama. When you start disliking it, bro, sis, we can connect. But I'm not going to keep throwing you,
mm,
you know, the means to get out of the water. I'm not going to keep telling you, hey, all you got to do is stand up. You're taller than the water. You're not drowning.
mm.
And then you stand up and be like, oh, okay, and go back down. No, you walk away. And I'm going to tell you who really taught me that a long time ago. But
True.
and even when I heard it, I was like, that's so cruel. Pastor Young. When I tell y'all, Pastor Young was like cutthroat, dry. It is what it is. That kind of
Pastor
pastor that if
Young,
you Pastor Young, I'm telling you, I never
rest in peace.
he
That's
was like,
the
you can't let people send you to hell
exactly.
or
Rest in peace.
heaven.
That's
Yeah,
Paul Young's the mayor's father, Mayor of
right.
Memphis' father.
Healing and damaged emotions is when, man, Pastor Young was so spot on. But see, at that time, I was so broken and hurt and trying to be a people pleaser until I couldn't even get what he was saying. And now, psh, it's like this, Brandon. Brandon, it's like
Um,
this. Just, just blow it on up, cause I'm gonna do me.
I was in the comments. We
So,
have a a young man. He's 7 years old in the comments named Adam, who likes to watch our show.
I
Shout out
think I
to
remember
Adam.
you. Yeah, shout out to Adam. Adam, we need to get you in the back of the. Let you handle all this back, back stuff. Since you like it, hey, come on and be our admin. Got to get up and rock with us early though. We'll teach you how to do it. Wouldn't that be cool?
Man, we got to put
Like a
Adam
real
on the show.
person.
We got to put
Me too.
Adam is funny. We got to put Adam on the show.
Come on, let's
That's
do it.
that's my little man right there.
Let's test them out. Tell them come on and handle the back end so I can just really be engaged into the show. So that would be cool. But anyway, let's get out of here, Brandon. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Let's see, did we get everybody's comment in here? Big Mike says people seem to draw to violence. Look at social media. If you notice, there are more views and likes on social media posts connected to drama and violence than anything. Show enough. And man, if you go down your timeline on your social media accounts, it'll tell you what you're attracted to. You might not want to know and be honest about it. And I'm telling you, that's why I'm like, I prayed for
Mhm.
my, and I still do. I prayed like God, because I wanted to get off. God, if you want me on here, you're gonna have to help me because I can't do this. Only I'm serious. Let me see only that which you want me to see, and that glorifies you and your kingdom, and give me the strength to be a servant. I'm serious. Like you better pray over this stuff. Seriously, pray about everything, right?
Yeah.
Pray
Yeah.
about it. So,
Cool. Adam
all
said
right,
I'm
let's
good
get out
with
of here.
that.
I know you got to get out of here and go trade, huh?
I said Adam said I'm good with that. So he'll do it.
For real?
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Tell
talk to him.
Adam's
I'll see.
mother and father to call so we can get him in training session. It'd be so cool to have a 7-year-old behind the scenes doing it up.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
serious.
That's my
Because
boy.
I'm sick of this. I'll show Adam how to set it up, everything. He said to show up. Let's get Adam something to do.
Man, but yeah, but okay.
All right.
We're
Thank
about to
y'all
get
for
up out
rocking
of here,
with us.
y'all. Thank y'all. I was starting to look up quotes on scapegoatism, and I have a bunch of them, but I'm gonna keep those to myself. Um,
Okay.
that's so it's interesting though. But y'all think it's there's I'll share one. It says that brainstorming becomes blame storming by reason of time pressure or an account of pure laziness. The truth may be assaulted and unyieldingly vilified.
Send
If
me some of them, Brandon. If
Okay,
you get
if
time throughout the day today.
brainstorming becomes blame storming by reason of time, pressure, or on account of pure laziness, the truth may be assaulted and unyieldingly vilified. So the truth becomes vilified, right? When brainstorming becomes blame storming. So leave you all with that. Today's title on May 14th was "Who is your scapegoat?" I want you guys to question yourselves with that throughout the day. Am I making someone, something, or some circumstance, or some object in my mind's eye my own scapegoat, and not taking personal responsibility for my life, for where I am, for who I am, for what I feel, and for what I think? And so the title was "Who is your scapegoat?" And the quote comes from Thurgood Marshall, the Supreme Court Justice, who said, "Each of us must learn our own existence, must earn our own existence. Each of us must earn our own existence. And how does anyone earn anything? Through perseverance, hard work, and desire." And the quote that we read 3 times at the bottom of the page is, "I am responsible for me. I point no fingers, give no excuses, and I offer no scapegoats." All right. I am responsible for me. Take responsibility for yourself, for how you feel, how you think, what you say, your own circumstance and situation. If you broke, it's your fault. If you're rich, it's your fault. If you're happy, it's your fault. If you're depressed, it's your fault. Yes. Yes. We're not validating your sentiment of escapism or scapegoatism. It is your responsibility. Happiness exists inside of you, and you create it yourself. Don't give anybody else the ability to make you happy, because they will break you happy. Okay.
Mm.
I am responsible for me. I point no fingers, give no excuses, and offer no scapegoats. Was that number 2 or number 3? Do we need to hear it one more time?
We need to hear one more time for
One
the
more
people
time,
that
yeah.
in the back and who didn't make it to the barbecue.
People in the back. For the people in the back. This one goes out to
Sitting in
Adam
the
right here.
car, Brandon. When Lil Will was on here, we said for the people who came to the barbecue and didn't even get out the car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Say it for them.
Say it for them. We're gonna yell it to them. No, I'm just saying. I am responsible for me. I point no fingers. As I point a finger, you saw that? I point no fingers.
Tupac.
Give no excuses and offer no scapegoats. It's all about me. All right. So analyze, take inventory of your internal state, of your mind, of your thoughts, of your habits, and remember, no scapegoats today. Take this as a new path, of accountability, of responsibility, and watch how it changes your life. Right. Make sure your brainstorming doesn't become blame storming. Right. Take accountability. All right. I love y'all. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 7 a.m. You got anything
Peace.
else, Mom?
Peace.
Well,
Come
that's
share
it.
this video and come back with us tomorrow. And
All right,
tell
y'all.
Adam. Let's talk to Adam.
All right, I'll holler at Adam. He got school and stuff. He can't be doing this, but we'll figure it out.
Summertime's coming.
Okay,
School
okay.
get ready to get out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna holler at him.
All
I'll
right.
holler at
Bye.
him.
All right.
All right. Love y'all.
Peace,
Take
y'all.
care.
Love
See y'all
y'all.
tomorrow. Peace.